The Colorado recall election is pretty interesting because it played out on a national stage. What people are trying to figure out is, are people that angry about not being represented by the people they put in office? The answer is yes. Victor Head, a plumber, Pueblo, hand-painted some signs, sat out in a parking lot of a supermarket, and asked for people to sign a petition to recall Morris and Harron. Now, he didn't get any help initially from the Republican Party. In fact, they were angry. You'd say, that's amazing. Well, it didn't fit into the elitist view of what should actually be happening, did it? The plumber, Victor, didn't get any help from the parties, so he went out and did it on his own. Sat in a parking lot, put out a little coffee table, card table, put his petitions together, made sure that they were structured properly, spent his own money. In fact, we're going to go out and try to raise some money to reimburse him for what he did, he and his brother. And then was told that his petitions wouldn't pass muster because they never pass muster. And there would be 30% of those signatures that were unusable. Now, this isn't a day. Keep in mind, in Colorado, if you're a resident of this state, this is one thing that Mr. Morse managed to pass this year, along with the gun issues that angered the voters so much. You can live in Colorado for 22 days and have the intention, if you so choose, mere intention. For instance, if I live in Denver, but I say to the person at the polls, I intend on moving to Pueblo. Now I can vote in the Pueblo election because I told the poll judge, the election judge, that I'm thinking of moving to Pueblo. Now, I don't know why that would anger anybody. It just subverts the entire process under the name of, I just love fairness. Don't you love fairness? Just being fair. So Victor and his brother sat out in parking lots and signed their petitions and were told by the head of the Republicans in Colorado that 30% are always kicked out. You don't have a chance. Victor goes to the Secretary of State and 100% of his signatures were valid. That's never happened. So that says to you, the people that really do believe in the process, willing to show an ID, to verify who they are, signed his petitions. These are people who care about the way America was created and the foundation on which we keep creating America. 100% success rate with his signature. Now, did you hear any of that in the news? I bet you didn't. You know why? Because those are citizens doing things. And remember in a video before I said, if you want to terrify the left and the right, do it with citizen action. Terrify. So here we have two parties. Bloomberg sending money to an election in Pueblo, Colorado. Why? Because he doesn't want to hear the voice of the people. He doesn't even want you to have a 16-ounce soda. So, they get recalled. $4 million is spent. And neither party talks about this marvelous concept of citizen action. Puts a card table out in the parking lot, spray paints a sign, and recalls someone who managed to subvert the voting rights issues in Colorado and your right to carry a weapon or to have a magazine over 15 rounds. which, by the way, is just an incremental degradation of your civil liberties. So, we learned something. We can do this. Imagine this. How about somebody runs for office, uses the same process, goes out and fills out a petition to get on the ballot and refuses to take a nickel in campaign contributions? Who would they owe their... Who would they owe? Where would the leverage be? If somebody didn't give you any money, you wouldn't owe them anything, would you? How would the parties control that person? You see, with the internet, the Arab Spring was run on Twitter. Don't you think it's time we run a campaign the same way? And if you want to terrify party politicians, put somebody in office that doesn't owe them anything. Well, you know what? With social media, you could be a fly on the wall. Wouldn't that be an interesting conversation while they're putting together their speakerships and their whips, all the little committee heads? They're just missing the executive, who takes out his pen and vetoes everything they do until they start thinking about the philosophy of liberty. The thing that terrifies me is when Congress is in session, not when it's out. You know, the government closes every weekend. Do we miss it? No, I breathe a big sigh of relief because I'm safe for 48 hours. Imagine. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about not taking any money in a political campaign, not owing your allegiance to anyone but the voter. Let me know what you think about that. And by the way, this recall election in Colorado proves to me it can be done.